It's up on your arm. You're not alive, buddy.
Well, this feels like a big event. These grandstands are packed, and the energy in this racetrack all weekend has been through the roof. So makes me excited to get this one started.
Remember the start-finish line, not at the center of the tri-oval, but down toward turn one. How about that packed house? As the drone drops down to ride toward the start-finish line with 39 NASCAR Cup cars. Green flag at Talladega.
Biggity, biggity, biggity. Let's go racing at Talladega.
These guys have not had one lap of practice. Be mindful of that. First time they've heard their spotters in their ear is right now.
Well, they have a lot of responsibility right now, and that's, get yourself the track position. The guys in the front, you're going to see exactly what you saw right there. That block right up into that outside line. You're going to see the manufacturers try to get themselves together and start implementing the strategy that they've all worked on for the whole week.
Well, I think that's what you're seeing right here at the front. Where you're going to go, you're going to get single file. But those guys riding in the back, talking about Chase Elliott and company, clear back there in 30th. They're going to try to make some moves early, get this three wide going on, and make some headway.
Cole Custer on the outside leading that group. Now gets a little help as Josh Berry jumps outside in the Wood Brothers 21, but it is 25-year-old Zane Smith, who yesterday won his first career pole, and he leads the first lap at Talladega.
You see Joey Logano pop up right in front of Josh Berry there to put another Ford on that outside lane, and that allows them to have as much control of the race as possible. You want to save the fuel. You want to keep your track position. You want to do everything all at once, and that sometimes can be a hard thing to balance at the front of this field.
Well, and it didn't surprise me. Logano pulled out a lineup in front of Josh Berry in that Wood Brothers car. Basically, teammates in Penske. If you're going to pick a car, he told us in the previous, Kevin, he wants a teammate behind him. That's exactly what he has.
Ford leading the outside and the center. Chevrolet on the bottom. That's Austin Dillon trying to take the lead down on the inside. 3 by 3, here they come.
Didn't take them long to build confidence in their machine, did it?
No, and as this day goes on, Clint, this will become more and more aggressive, and you'll see the pushing and everything that is happening become more intense. So as you see that fourth lane start to form up on the outside.
I think it was Denny Hamlin that started it right there on the outside. You see him in 11 car. Here he comes.
2 inside, 1 outside.
Looking back from the BuildSubmarines.com cam, Brad Keselowski, one of 11 onboard cameras in today's race. 4 wide from about 13th on back.
The exits of those corners, that's where you have to be careful. Be mindful of the cars on the inside, the outside. Listen to that spotter. Give them a little bit of room. A little bit of patience right here goes a long ways.
Well, and that patience is really difficult because you see in that outside lane, you've got those Toyotas lined up, and Joey Logano and Josh Berry in front of that group. It's kind of, I feel like they want to get that track position and get forward. That's really why that fourth lane was formed up there, to try to move forward.
Third lane from the bottom, Michael McDowell is rocketed forward in that blue car from 14th starting spot. He's known as a very aggressive driver on these drafting tracks, and he wants the lead in that 71.
And I tell you who's right behind him all the way back. I looked over, who's the biggest mover? It's Stenhouse. All the way to the back, he was up 17 positions in that very line. Right there, I think he's 4th or 5th in line, that 3rd row. These are those opportunities. If you didn't have the track position, you could pounce on it early, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, as we look out the back of McDowell's back bumper right here, you see Brad Keselowski come up and give that back bumper a little bit of a bump right there, try to push that car forward. And that's really the strategy. The second place guy is really responsible for how fast that line will go, by how many times he can hit the back bumper of that first place car in that line.
Looked at a lot of tape of racing here over the past years. They run 2 wide. Some years they run 3 wide. Why do we run 4 wide here?
Well, right now we're running 4 wide because of the conservation efforts that they have with the fuel. So there's a lot of strategy and things that fall into play with the pace that they run. So they're able to run 4 wide, and right now some of the guys at the front, as they get shuffled, there will be an opportunity for these guys further back to push their way forward.
All right, Joey Logano, the leader, as they come through the tri-oval. Here's Larry McReynolds with today's race strategy, sponsored by Keystone Light. Mike, we will have green flag stops. You have to coordinate green flag stops with teammates, even other teams. You have to have partners and stay together to make lap time after green flag stops. Speaking of green flag stops, probably fuel only, and you want to fill that race car with fuel every chance you get. This is the biggest one right here. Know when to, when not to, where to, and where not to push or block. It can lead to the big one, and guys, the big one can be right over there in turn 3 at that bump at the end of the back straightaway.
I disagree. I think the big one that's one place. It can be anywhere.
Yeah, well, that bump that Larry is talking about is the crossover tunnel. There's one underneath the racetrack, and they drive over the top. And yesterday in qualifying, you could really see that as we start to see a little bit more pushing and shoving up in the front.
McDowell leads the 6th lap here.
Started with the 22 car. Joey Logano seen backing up right there. Missed the block.
Now Gyrocam on board Riley Herbst's Toyota to show you the effect of this 33-degree banking. Our Toyota cam there.
Corner up front. Corner.
Yeah, you see Joey Logano, the yellow car in the second lane there, leading that second lane. He, in my opinion, was trying to be in heavy conservation mode with fuel, and once he missed that block and they were able to shuffle him out, the guys that want to move forward and get that track position now have put him in a bad spot.
One of those guys is Carson Hocevar. He is leading the 3rd lane from the bottom of the racetrack.
Started 28, Mike.
He's got help. Here's Regan on our pole sitter.
Like you see Zane Smith on the bottom of the inside lane right now, currently running in the second position, excuse me. One of the things he was most concerned about today was that he has never been up front trying to manage the front of the pack in this conservation type mode. He said, I'm going to have to learn it during the first stage. He talked to Joey Logano actually about how to do that the best. Well, right now he's doing a very nice job of keeping the car up front with track position, but also learning it as he goes.
And here comes Josh Berry around the outside at 195 miles per hour looking for the lead.
I wish I could tell everybody at home how hard it is. Well, I'm going to tell you. It is very difficult to save fuel, keep your track position, and do all the things to manage and make sure that you're taking the push from the car behind you to keep the car straight. So there's a lot to navigate, no matter if you're full speed, conservation mode, whatever that is. It's a lot to navigate, especially if you're that lead car.
Looking back from the gump cam on board McDowell's car, Josh.
Well, you guys talked about Michael McDowell starting 14th all the way up to first a few seconds ago. And when I spoke to the team earlier today, they talked about everything they've learned last season. Remember, different organization, but won both poles for the races. He said he learned a ton about controlling these races and what it takes to be out front, to block, to push, and what he needs when he's controlling the race. So they want to get to the front as quick as possible, control these races. Clayton, Kevin, I know you could talk about just the challenge of being able to do that when they're in conservation mode as well.
4 wide at Talladega into the tri-oval. Michael McDowell continues to lead, and they're 4 abreast behind him. 8 laps of 188 complete at the world's fastest speedway on Fox.